know who it is, man. It's your boy, Mr. Relentless Lex, and I'm back like I never left this mother. Yes, Sirski. Hello, somebody. All right, so, man, we got, it says, 50 Cent out here doing worse than trolling. You know, 50 Cent is a major troll. That way he does. He troll people in every situation he possibly can. It don't matter who you are or what it is. He's trolling once he find out what it is. He goes deep. He cuts deep, and he don't even care about how you may feel about it. Now, this is the thing, you guys, right? Jay-Z's alleged son, I think his name was Namir, I think it's Namir. Well, the guy had just been granted the right that saying that the judge has ordered Jay-Z to take the paternity test and to find out whether that's his son or not. The guy been trying to fight this for years and get Jay-Z to take the test, but now he had the court system to support him and back him up on it and all these things of that sort. But now it's alleged that 50 Cent is out here paying the fees for the paternity or whatever kind of fees the guys may have to get the test done, and supposedly putting them in a documentary between Jay-Z and Diddy and everything. So 50 is trying to capitalize off as much as he can capitalize off of by any given situation, no matter Diddy, Jay, Nas. It don't matter who they are. If he can capitalize off of it, that's his job. 50 Cent. His name speaks for itself. His name speaks money. And now that's what he's all about. But we gonna check it out. Spicy.
Say what now? Not 50 Cent paying the lawyer fees for Jay-Z's estranged son to drag him to court and even paying him to be part of his documentary about Diddy and Jay. Oh, baby, it's getting messy out here. And from the looks of it, it's not going to be long before Jay-Z and Beyonce are exposed for all the evil things they've been getting up to all these years. Just recently, Nicki Minaj was on Twitter going off on Jay, even posted receipts that prove that he not only owes her over $200 million, but he collaborated with some industry executives to try and ruin her career.
Bro.
Before we could get a hang of what the
200 million. J.O. Nicki, 200 million. Bro, that's a lot of smackaroos, bro. A hell of a lot of smackaroos. I would have been took this fool to court.
The hell that was about and how he ended up owing her that much money to begin with. His son, who he has been denying since the beginning of time, popped out again, and this time he has concrete evidence to prove that Jay is indeed his father.
You are the father.
The estranged son in question is called Rymir Satterthwaite, and he has been going back and forth with Jay-Z
Rymir,
about
okay,
this
not Namir, it's Rymir. Okay, I got you.
since 2010. He claims that Jay knocked up his deceased mother, Wanda, when she was just 16. Wanda was still alive when Rymir started this court battle with Jay, but she passed away in 2000.
She got a pretty smile.
Prior to her death, she wrote a signed affidavit to the Daily Mail, telling them how she and Jay met and how he apparently slept with her without protection during a one-night stand. She said that after multiple failed attempts to get Jay to claim Rymir, she was forced to put her then-boyfriend Robert Graves on his birth certificate as the father. But here's the thing, though. She lied to her boyfriend that Rymir was his knocking hood and, well, that was another's child. Now, as I said, Rymir was already going after Jay prior to his mama's death, but he became even more persistent when she died. People are convinced that the reason Jay had been playing hide and seek with Rymir and refusing to take a paternity test is because he doesn't want people to know that he slept with a 16-year-old child. According to Rymir's godmother, Lily Colley, Jay actually responded positively when Wanda first reached out to him about Rymir, and they even talked about Rymir's music talent.
So even though the lady was 16 years old, right? I know that's illegal in a lot of states. So even though it's been years and years later, if they did find out that Rymir is Jay-Z's son, could they go back and charge him for that after all these years? Is that how the law works? I don't know. So maybe y'all can help me in the comment section. Let me read it in the comment section. Somebody help me out. Is that still could be considered as some form of RAPE?
And whether it was a good time to put him on his record label. But suddenly different lawyers got involved and their attitude completely changed. I think they realized there was more at stake for Sean, given that Wanda was allegedly underage. Since then, there has just been a whole bunch of mistakes, oversights, and collusion between our lawyers and Sean's lawyers, which is why we have to fight back, and we're not giving up. In an explosive interview, Rymir accused Jay-Z of paying lawyers and judges to bury this case so it doesn't see the light of day. He even went as far as accusing his own lawyers, who he lays out a pocket of also being paid off by Jay to sabotage the case.
And a lot of things that's going on still in our court system. I'm just trying to keep the world really aware because this is something that's going on continuously on a daily basis with maybe many different people. So as I said, I was in the major court. Me, my mom, my godmom, we've been in court for many years, and it's just been crazy. Like as I said before, it's been crazy. We've been going in there. I don't feel like we've been getting our rights really appreciated. So important to deal with, because all the fraud on the court, if we just let that, just pass and not say anything about it, they will continue to do anything they want. It's not just with us, it's with people in the world. Like a lot of fraud and a lot of collusion that's just been going on and just been looked over was never supposed to happen. Like, and I will not let that pass. I'm not letting the lawyers get away with that. They will not go in the courtroom of justice and just lie like that and continue to get praised off it, or use this lie to benefit off all these years. Like, we've been going to court, putting our hard-earned money out there, and we going in there to fight fraud. That's just that's craziness. That's really craziness. And I don't think nobody in the world should have to go through that. You going in there, you paying your hard-earned money. You got these lawyers that just frauding and doing anything they want basically in the courtroom, and the judges is just allowing this to go on. I honestly believe that both of them should be hold it responsible for this, because if you guys, this is you guys' job, and if the judge can't see this or overlook it, I can understand a mistake, but just throughout the years, this continue to overlook fraud it's just craziness to me. Like, come on, it's right there in your face. If you can't see that, then I don't know what else we can do to help you guys believe that it's something crazy going on with this case. Honestly, I just want everybody in the world just to keep their eyes open and just watch things that happen, that this, like how things unfold, because it's crazy. It really is crazy. These judges, these lawyers, this fraud, collusion, who knows what it's for, money or friendships or whatever they got going on. But I can honestly say that we should never go in the courtroom feeling like we're already the victims and we did nothing wrong. We did nothing wrong but come in here, tell you guys the truth, put our life on the line, come to every court case and give you 100% plus of us. And basically we just got stepped on, and basically, just try to get dragged through the system. But no, we won't let that go. That's not us. We're not we're not letting this go, and we will continue to fight. Like, especially for fraud and collusion that's been going on. No, I will not let nobody just put that on my name, my mother's name, my godmother's name. We will fight for what is right, like we've been doing all these years.
Rymir and his godmother, Lily, appeared in an
Rymir
interview.
said he ain't playing this time, bro. He said, y'all gonna give me an answer and give me an answer fast. I don't spend all these years trying to get this thing settled. What's his last name? Satterthwaite. That's the first time. Y'all might can't see his last name, but it's spelled Satterthwaite. Satterthwaite. I don't know.
With Liz Crokin, and this is what they had to say.
Do you think that it seemed that Jay-Z, via his people, were willing to work something out behind the scenes, and then all of a sudden that stopped? Why? Why do you think that he is refusing to take a paternity test and stopped, working with you all behind the scenes? What was driving that, in your opinion?
Well, part of it was a rumor that was told that he didn't like the fact that this particular case was in the public, and he had a problem with Rymir putting it in the public, which was not Rymir, was his mother. So basically, in a nutshell, I just believe that was a big part of it. He didn't like the fact that it was in public. There was a time that Mr. Carter was trying to resolve the matter in the very beginning, and he was doing it in the best interest of Rymir. And then somewhere he left his heart and started thinking with his head.
Do you think part of it is because Wanda was 16?
Yeah, well, definitely that's the big part of it. The allegations that we have, that the affidavit says that Wanda was 16 and he was 22. That's in Wanda's own words.
Right.
So therefore,
that's got to be exactly what it is. That's why I was asking you guys earlier about, is that law still going to stick after all these years in the state of New Jersey? I think he went and picked her up. Philadelphia. He either picked her up from Philly and took her to New Jersey, Yeah, I think he picked her up from Philadelphia and took her to New Jersey.
Yeah, that would be something that would make some people uncomfortable.
Right. Well, it's a crime. But for the record, you did tell me that Wanda told you that she did tell Jay-Z that she was of legal age. Is that true?
Right. She did tell me that she told him she was 18 or something, whatever she told him.
Lily revealed that their lives have been getting threatened since they started going after Jay, and even brought up the fact that both her and Rymir have been getting followed around. She even claimed that one time Rymir's house was broken into, and the people who broke into it threatened to come back and harm him if he didn't drop the case. It got so bad that Rymir had to go to the police for help several times, but of course Jay has the feds on his payroll too, so those reports went straight to the gutter.
Yep.
We had to go to the police about several things. There's people, like you said, came into the property. Some of them knocked on Rymir's window. They wanted Rymir to drop the case. This was early on. There's been a lot of what they call intimidation.
And get this, y'all, Rymir said since Jay refuses to do the DNA test, he tried to do one online by tracing his ancestry back to Jay's ancestry, but the results were conveniently tampered with and he never even ended up receiving it. Apparently, this was the same way Jay's other estranged daughter, Letitia May Soar, took to get him to claim her after several attempts to get Jay to do a DNA test. It turns out that after she got her results, she was allegedly paid off and signed an NDA not to talk about it anymore.
But we use Ancestry.com, and that's basically say they didn't give me my paperwork back. Like, I did the swab and spit in it and then get sent it to them. And when I called to try to get my information, basically it was an error, and I never heard of that.
There was an error. They wouldn't give you your paperwork.
That's crazy.
My paperwork from Ancestry.com. Now you have people saying use 23andMe, and I just want people to know, like, the courts got my DNA. So if they wanted to test my DNA, for me just to keep spending all this money, these guys can test it. It's Jay-Z and them, and it's the judges. They have everything they need. So obviously I'm not out of the fight, and I won't stop. It's not just about no Jay-Z. I'm not just chasing Jay-Z. That's not what it's about. My mom passed away fighting this case until she was gone. So that's more important to me than anything.
Well, recently this case got brought up again after Jay-Z tried to get the case thrown out of court. But after looking at the evidence, the judge wasn't having it and they denied his motion. He then filed another motion, and this time he was calling the whole situation a decade-long harassment. He said, the fabricated allegations and claims have been addressed and rejected in multiple other courts, and continued harassment and disregard of those orders has already resulted in a contempt order. Now, while all this was going on, 50 Cent stepped into the chat and he trolled Jay-Z for failing to dead this case even after years of trying to silence Rymir. To make matters even worse, word on the street is 50 Cent recently added Rymir to his upcoming documentary about Diddy and Jay, and that because of this, he is paying for Rymir's court fees so he can keep his case with Jay going for as long as he needs to. This wasn't surprising.
50 Cent hell, bro. 50 is hell on wheels, bro. I swear to God.
As I said, 50 has been at this for a while, especially after Diddy got arrested. He made several posts, including this picture of Jay's face on a milk jar with the caption, "Anybody seen Jay LOL? Puff said the man ain't answering his phone." He followed it up with another photo of Jay with the caption, "Here is Jay-Z, last reported seen waving at Puffy Jet lol." Just when we thought 50 was done being petty, he posted this extremely unflattering photo.
I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but now that Diddy cases RICO and stuff have been dropped, and he's facing like one-on-one charges of things that nobody else can really be accused of, I believe. Now Jay-Z is coming out. You see Jay-Z in Paris performing with Beyonce, looking like a happy camper. If I do say so myself, I'm coming up out that house, talk about, bro, Jay out there living his best life now, bro. He happy. He coming out the woodworks now. Puff Daddy, he doesn't see what happened to Puffy. Puffy coming off better than ever.
Jay-Z
now
said
Jay
in the
back
caption,
outside.
Jay in hibernation. He ain't coming outside till this ish with Puff blow over. No brunch, no lunch,
Facts.
no dinner. LOL, I'm all you got him outside. Now when it comes to this case with Rymir, 50 didn't hold back from giving his opinion when he posted a photo of Rymir and Diddy with the caption, "Jay-Z is trending because the judge has granted Rymir's request to move forward with his case. And the judge has demanded Jay-Z to respond to Rymir paternity lawsuit, by July 18th. Hashtag
Wow, that's
Jay-Z.
about
But
a
guess who
month
isn't
from
so
now.
happy about 50 getting himself involved in this?
Beyonce.
Apparently, she is pissed off that this case is still ongoing and 50 is trying to make it even bigger by putting it in his documentary. In fact, according to Rymeer's godmother, Lily, Beyonce is the reason why Jay has still not claimed Rymeer. She said Beyonce was extremely uncomfortable with the fact that Jay wanted to claim Rymeer, and because of this, she convinced him to keep everything under wraps.
You have told me that you believe that Beyonce may have been one of the reasons why there wasn't a resolution.
I do believe that. Like in the very beginning, they didn't have a daughter, and there was seemed like we were understanding there was complications in getting conceived, etc.
Right.
And I felt like that would make some women, and then seem like her with her, she would fit that bill, uncomfortable about him having a fully grown son with a talent.
Right.
So I do believe that she had a problem. If it was true, she would have a problem with the fact that Rymeer was in the picture or coming in the picture, because that was a vulnerable time.
Right.
But clearly now, 10 years later, 12 years later, you would think somebody would say, hey, let's just get this out of the way.
Now, it's unclear how true all this is, but people had their own thoughts, like this person who said the DNA tests need to be done inside the courtroom in front of Rymeer, Jay-Z, lawyers, and the judge, with the results tested right in the courtroom. Another person said, as a wife and mother, I would think Miss Bay would want the truth so this situation can be put to rest. What kind of woman does not want her husband to take responsibility for being a parent to all of his kids? This young man did not ask to be born here. Jay, take the test and stop stalling. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Beyonce allegedly trying to cover all this up? And do you think 50 is right for including this in his documentary?
Man, you know what? Jay, team, or everybody who's affiliated with Jay, if they do not take that test inside that courtroom and get the results right then and there, bro, they're not gonna get the appropriate results. They're not. If it come back in somebody else's hands, it's gonna say that Jay-Z is not the father. So I don't know if they make a test. They have to send the lab work off. DNA have to be sent off. I don't think you can do it right then and there inside. Maybe the blood type. But that's going to be crazy. Rymeer, my boy, if he do take the test, don't get that test sent off nowhere. Or do something, put it in an envelope or marking on it and make a mark on the envelope or something. Some type of way you can recognize. Do something, my boy. Don't let them bamboozle you if you do take the test. If Jay do decide to take the test. You get what I'm saying? Be smart about it. Peace and love.